Okay, so I just should I speak English? I mean I am a very good mood today, so okay, just keep the English as our default mode because I want to improve my English as well. And as you can see, like I sound exhausted, but positively exhausted. Uh, mainly because I sing too much. So today and yesterday, I went to two concerts. One was in a real theater, and I have never been in a. What does it call? It's not a theater, like theater, like nhà hát. What's that? Like opera house, something kind of that kind of thing. Like I have never been to such a place before, and really listen to that kind of music. So it was totally blown away. Just imagine if you have a chance to use my headphone, Sony WH-05, XM05. I can't speak properly. But then what I try to say is you just feel like you are surrounded by music. Sorry. I'm so self-suffering, huh? Like you are surrounded by music, and it's just the sound just so thick and soulful and just marvelous. Like my English is very limited, and my Vietnamese as well. So I have no word to describe how did it sound like, but it's just amazing. Like it's another level of music. Like it's very clear. I can hear the drum. I can hear the tremper, like the tremper of the drum. The two kind of clap to it's I don't know what does it call it. That's kind of clap to each other. Maybe silver, and then it just have the very thin and very bright sound. That kind of thing. I don't know what is it called, but usually I just hear the drum of the drum. It's like boom boom boom. But in the opera house, I can hear that kind of sound, and it's just marvelous. And it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible, but I think educated people are just another level. Like you don't know what you don't know. I don't know that music can sound that good when I like when I haven't been to that show. It sounds very different. I don't know how to describe it. Just sounds different. It sounds very what does it say? Educated, luxury, very graceful. Is it a word? Like very. I don't know how this is called, but then it's just 10 out of 10. It's symphony, symphony orchestra kind of thing. My blown. That's a show I came to yesterday, and today I came to a show by Minh Tóc and Lam, and this show is just as beautiful, but in another level because the target audience of these artists are very indie. They look indie, the kind of people who dress thrifted clothes and has kind of wolf cut hair and wavy kind of thing, and then have tattoos. That class of people, and then and that's just different. People just be so true, and you just see that, like, I don't know, first they can be too pretentious, like a poser, or they can be very true to themselves because it seems like they enjoy it and they don't care about what happens tomorrow. That's kind of people. The target audience of their like symphony show I came to yesterday was kind of the opposite side. The kind of people who dressed well and who have the shit together, and then who have another state of life compared to me. I have a student. I have a student, card kind of student kind of thing, price. So that's why I came to the show, because full price 1 million. I was like, no way, I can't pay for that. But anyway, it's just another thing. I think different people who have different standard of life can share different taste of music. I would say that could works for the majority. Like when we break down to individuals, that was like very nonsense to say that. But when we look at a big group of people, because I don't see anyone in that room I went to today, the Mental and Lamb show, that seems like they are, you know, investment bankers or who work like entrepreneurs, or you know, that kind of very successful in a business way kind of people. I might be the first one. I will be successful finance. No, risk manager. That's so stupid. Anyways, but the show yesterday was like those people seems like show, or because you know, when I read the book, when I read their Thinking Fast and Slow book, I think all of my assumptions and all of my stories I made just make sense. Like essentially, there's a mechanism that you will use to make your life easier, that we will connect unrelevant dots to make a story. For example, like if I what do I say? Like if I hear a story and and let's say she's the third wheel to a family. Because of her, so the man of that family broke up with his wife and abandoned his children. And then after that, I knew, and for some reason I know that she's like her, it's just it's a very terrible reason, but I just want to make my point in a, you know, more direct way. It's not a valid example anyway, so disclaimer. Like, and then I know that she's kind of haven't graduated from any university, and she just finished her high school, and then she just worked for a factory. This is a very terrible example and doesn't happen, so please so I will connect the dots that, oh okay, because she's not really highly educated, that's why she has different, you know, moral standard, moral code of life, so she's kind of conducted that action. But they just, you know, just didn't relate to each other, didn't correlate to each other. I just want to make myself feel more comfortable, because we are very lazy and we just want to make things simple. So when we make the story, we connect the dots and everything just easy to understand, and we just have the feeling that okay, I know it, like I feel the power of knowing it. Then, you know, then just that kind of desire that will make us think very irrationally. That's why when I try, like when I tell you about, you know, the Ngọc Lan, Minh and Lam show and then the symphony show, like I obviously fall into that trap, and I kind of generalize and I stereotype people so that I can make a story that sounds, you know, easy to kind of feel. So yeah, that's kind of critical thinking. It's very beautiful. Like they have tested it in a very beautiful way. For example, if I say wash and then is O and then a plank and then P and then the next is hand, then highly likely you will go it with A. If I say food and then I say S, O, and then plank P and then another, you know, related one, then you will highly likely do it as soup, even though that you are guided that those three words are not relevant to each other, but just, you know, jump into your mind that the most relevant words just work. So it's very cool. Like another example would be very popular critical thinking fallacies. I don't remember, like heuristics kind of thing. Like when I saw, like, if I describe you, there's a man and he's kind of, very strong and have a tan skin. No, no, no. He looks very, uh, he looks very ill. No, 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 not ill. This is too bad. He looks very soft and calm, and then looks like he wear glasses. So, how will you guess that he will be a librarian or a farmer? And you and me, we will highly likely say that he is a librarian, because that's just the stereotype that we made to ourselves. But he actually but he can highly likely be a farmer, because the rate of a librarian and farmer in the US is 1/10 or something, like very high probability that he will be a farmer. So that's how we just do with everything in our life. And I think that's kind of a proof that we can do mechanism, that we can stop that everything we have some kind of stories, and okay, this makes sense. We have to immediately ask ourselves, okay, am I making up a story again, like that? So I think that will work. I try to do that every day. Oh, okay, so that's the first. That's not even the point that I tried to make. The point I tried to make today was that there are some entertainment activities that consume a lot of brain power. And that's just listening to music. I just feel overwhelmed and exhausted, like, in a lot of ways when I go to the shows. I was like that's kind of activities I would just do once in a while, like once per month. Even though I have a lot of money, I can't handle it. It's a lot. Like, people just, because every show, like the artists usually they will devote themselves. I mean, the show I go to, you can go to like very basic kind of show that people just do the cover. I think that would be still amazing. But I go to the show where the artists, they made the music, or they kind of mismaster the music, or they kind of like they do a lot of shit, and they put a lot of effort, and you just you can see it and you can feel it, and you can stop but try to interpret it, because you know that okay, these people made effort, so you have to kind of make effort in trying to understand them also. So it was like a lot of shit, and I was like, I'm exhausted, I just can't. Oh my gosh. That's the first update. The second update, I really like, I really like him. He still doesn't like me yet. That's a sad story. I mean, I think there will be nothing happen between us. We so friend zone. He friend zoned me. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Anyway, past that. Next story. I'm back. I was so lazy today. This day, he looked demotivated and stuff, and it's so cool that the more I meet people, and then I have some kind of I grow up and I meet people, and I trying to observe and understand them. Like, I make effort in observe people and understand them. Because when I was younger, I just I'm just be friend with you and we just have good time, and that's it. I don't try to interpret your characteristics, your personalities, your motivations, and your action and your behavior, your morality. Like, I have never tried to do that until these 2-3 years, when I meet a new person. I will absolutely try to do that. I will absolutely try to understand and trying to kind of judge people in many ways. So I think recently I'm about just get very demotivated, and I feel bad about that. I think that's very interesting, because when I first met him, I just really admire him for his bravery and for his confidence. He's smart to some extent, not very like apps like exceptionally excellent, but he's kind of around average kind of thing, above average I would say, but he's not as good as he think he is. He just have an easy life. He had an easy life because no, I just don't want to say that because I don't know much about his life either, but he had a life where his opinions just show a lot of privilege, I have to say. Some kind of privilege would be he would not be worried too much about the kind of the big financial things like buying a house, buying a car, making an investment in something, having a kid and raised him. I see him never talk about that, and he just have a very kind of he feels his life. I think a lot of his problem just not really common. It's just the problem that you are very sufficient in terms of physical, in terms of materials, in terms of financial. Then you will have those kinds of problems that relate to your moralities or your motivation in your life and stuff. But no kind of practicalities, he doesn't care much. And I have to say, if you were raised up in a family where you just kept being told by your mom that, hey, we don't have money, just fucking grow up and make money, then your concern and everything that be considered as your problems and your issues, that would be totally different. And I think he just have kind of very privileged financially life. So and recently when I asked him, okay, do you feel like this day you go to when you feel happy? And he was like, yes. And I was like, why? And he was like, because I have good friend and I'm very close to you guys and I'm happy about it. And I was like, okay, valid. But do you think that you have learned a lot recently? Because not only me can see the difference, but some of my colleagues as well that saw that he's kind of lacking in his motivation and just kind of drifting these days. So I asked, okay, how about the grow? Do you think you grow a lot these days? I mean, I'm kind of invasive and kind of not very nice in many ways when I ask those questions. I was like, not my business. So but then I worry about him because I really 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 like him as a friend, so I don't want he just be wasted. So I asked him so, and it was like, yeah, but I know that he didn't grow a lot in the career that he wants to pursue, because he doesn't have the chance to practice, and he didn't have a really valid and then dedicated mentor. So, and he just play games a lot in his office hours. So I was like, I'm just worried about him. And there's one thing said by Bill Gates that he feel bad when smart people get successful and then become overconfident, because at that time we all know that what we lose. When I think, because I have a terrible imposter syndrome, so I always think I'm not good enough because I'm truly not good enough. But because of that, I try to learn, I try to discover, I try to understand about myself, I try to understand about the big picture, and I try to be prepared for everything in my life. And because I know that because I'm not excellent, So if I don't put a lot of effort, I would just drift away. So that's why I was like very motivated to learn, because I know I'm not excellent. He doesn't. He thinks he's excellent. He thinks he's upper average. He thinks that, you know, if he wants to do something, he can do it, because for the majority of his life, that's what happened to him. But I know that if he was not supported by his families, he was not raised in such a favorable environment and conditions, that thing just didn't happen that easily. So when you become successful, you succeed, and then you just kind of overconfident, it just sucks. So I will try to not be confident. Like, I will be to some extent, but I will try to not be overly confident. Yeah, like today just purely mumbling about shit to, you know, wait for my heart rate become normal so I can take a bath. I don't want to get stroke. STROKE. I don't know. I think I pronounced it kind of wrong. I like my crush too much. When will he date me? There's sometimes I just wish I am beautiful, and very attractive, and very charming. That's when I like somebody. Other than that, I'm confident. I'm comfortable with how do I look. But when I think like, oh my god, I like this person, can you just fucking, you know, date me? Then I just wish, oh my god, can it be more beautiful? I look so ugly. You know? Okay, that's kind of a destiny, I think. Just leave it to the Cupid. I cannot handle it. I can't attract him, like, just can't. I'm very unattractive, and I'm not charming, and I'm not smart, and I become absolutely silly when I was around him. I was around him because, you know, like, when you try to become something, you just speak silly things, and that just happened to me. It's so damn silly. I just don't want to talk about it. It's another me, but worse version, you know. It's even another me, but, you know, better version. This would be good, but no. It's very embarrassing. I say embarrassing stuff. So my face looks so round. But it's okay. Just get back my hair. It looks so cute. Bye bye. Love you. Good night. My dear, only unique audience. Love ya.